Hey, I'm Mike with Vanquish Self-Defense Systems, and I get asked the question a lot, what's the best weapon to use if you're not strong or you're handicapped? I just recently had knee surgery, so I'm at the point right now where I'm temporarily handicapped, and my mom's in a wheelchair, and so this is something I've thought about and put a lot of effort into, over time. But what are the best weapons that you are going to be able to use in a situation like this? Maybe you're on crutches, maybe you have a wheelchair, maybe you're just not very physically strong, you have other physical ailments. So let's go over a few different weapons. So we have some different weapons here. We have everything from a Sig Sauer 9mm to a little pocket punching thing, knife, pepper spray, a little handheld stun gun, and baton. So let's go over which is the best of these weapons you could potentially carry and when and why. So first of all, little taser. This is a little Streetwise taser. I'm not sponsored by them, which is probably a good thing, so I'll give you an honest review. They're pretty much crap. Realistically, this sound right here, that'll scare off a dog, and it might scare off some people. If I get into a fight, even if I was in not handicapped type shape right now, but if I was in good physical shape and I try to fight with one of these, it's easy to break. There's so many things that could go wrong with it. This hurts a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. It's a little ow, and it's probably not going to stop you. If you want to use something, you want like a real taser gun type thing like the cops use, and that would be a much better thing. The best thing that these have is a flashlight and this. But if I want something with an alarm, I want to be able to turn that alarm on and have it keep going so I could push that alarm and toss that thing while there's an attack or a scuffle and not have to hold it down. So I can't just hold this down until help comes in most attacks. So pretty worthless, pretty much, honestly, for whether you're handicapped or not, or strong or not the best weapon. One of these little guys. In this situation, terrible. In a wheelchair, probably terrible. For me as a man anyway, terrible. I can't even get it over my knuckles. It looks cool. Looks like a little pit bull. It might make you feel safe having this on your keys, but especially if you have keys dangling off of here, you're not getting any punches in. You could just put your keys between your fingers if you want that same effect anyway. But yeah, another thing, probably pretty much trash. Not really going to do much for you. You got this baton. This would be a good weapon when you're not handicapped, but these things are heavy. You can't close them without slamming them onto some concrete. And it's not super practical in a situation like this. And if somebody takes this and uses it against me, not great. So this I would recommend in other situations, just like you can't carry a gun or something like that and you need a weapon. This would be good for the average person. If you're in like a handicapped state or on crutches, this isn't going to do much for me. So all these options I would say I wouldn't use. These three options are more viable options. You have two that are obviously deadly force, and you have one that is less lethal force. Pepper spray. I think this is actually a good self-defense tool for anybody. You can use this old, young, whatever, as long as you have a good brand and you have a couple of them and you make sure that they work and all that stuff, you can stop one attacker or multiple attackers. Certain ones will work with dogs or animals. You're not really going to be able to stop multiple attackers with anything else, especially in a handicapped state. But this, you could stop 2 or 3 people, get them all in the eyes, and at least slow them down, make it hard for them to breathe. Two things that they say: if you take away someone's breathing, you take away their ability to breathe, see, and you take away their ability to walk, you can stop the fight. So this takes 2 of those away most of the time. So most of the time, this is a pretty good thing, and it's also a good less lethal, option. Lethal options are good, but not all the time. There's times when it might have a family member who's having a crisis, or you might have something going on and you don't want to put a 9mm to shoot your brother who's drunk, and you don't want to stab somebody. So pepper spray is a much better option in those instances. So this is something I would recommend that you carry all the time, whether or not you're in this position. Okay, so these, you have to know how to use them and be willing to use them. And if you're going to carry something like this, you have to be willing to take somebody's life. If you're not willing to take somebody's life, don't ever carry a lethal force weapon, because if you're going to hesitate when time comes, most likely will get used against you. If you do know that you could do that and save yourself or save your family, these are great options. Again, though, you can't use them in certain instances when somebody's having a crisis or different things. And there's certain times when you're going to get in trouble using something like this because it's not called for. But There's the two. There's a knife. This one's okay, but it'll work. Not great in a situation like this, not great in being in a wheelchair or anything like that, but it's better than a lot of these other options. And if I can maybe keep you off me, if somebody got me to my back, I could still get them while they're trying to get me. This would work against like one unarmed opponent. You get multiple people, or you get somebody else who has a knife and I'm on crutches, this isn't a fight I want to have. So, you know, still a viable option, but you got to weigh it out. This, you know, P365 9mm Sig Sauer. This is a great gun, and it would be a great way to stop somebody in a self-defense situation, but only when the law calls for it and the time calls for it. There's times when you do not want to be pulling out a gun, but this I would say is the number one thing to carry in this situation. Number two, and number three. Another quick thing to think about too, if you're on crutches and you have decent balance, is one of these is also a weapon for you. You obviously don't want to get it taken from you, but if in a quick instance if someone's coming at you and you bang, bring it right up underneath their nose, right up underneath their chin, right up into their groin, that might slow or stop somebody. If you are going to strike with one of these, like I said, I would strike upwards, or I'd use it to jab somebody, bang, right in their face or right in the body. If you try and swing it up and around, somebody's going to block it and most likely get taken from you, and you're never going to, you know, get anything worth any good strikes out of it, and you're just going to get your crutch taken away. So make sure that if you're going to strike, you know, make it a quick boom coming up if somebody's running right at you and you have no other choice. But again, rather use one of these options. So let me know what you think in the comments. Hit that subscribe button if you want some more self-defense tips and tricks. And thanks for watching.